You don't expect this. I woke up this morning not expecting to be sitting here at 9:30 on a Sunday night after a couple of drinks. I didn't expect this to happen. But we do it for you folks. We do it for you. And the reason we do that is to say this. We say that Christmas with the Cranks is a 2004 American Christmas comedy film directed by Joe Roth from A Scream for LA from Christopher Columbus and starring Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jake Lee.
You know, I'm with him, Fitz. It's too soon.
I couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
It's too fresh. It's too fresh.
Listen, if we can't laugh about this, we're all gonna go bananas. You know what I mean? Jake, come on. We have to laugh about this. No?
Yeah, this is funny. That wasn't.
Fair enough. You know what? I'll wear that. Man. I did not listen.
I laughed, actually. Like, after I came out of shock, I did laugh.
Fair enough. I'll take that. Like,
yeah. I was at dinner with my dad. We were finishing up a nice Father's Day dinner. And I get a text that just says Devers ...
I got about 20 texts.
Like tore his ACL.
I got 20 texts that all said what? And then I said to you guys, what? And then I looked it up, and then it was the Devers news. I had to be the bearer of bad news for my dad. I was over my parents' house having a nice chilling and grilling Sunday afternoon. If you saw the post-game ponder today, after we swept the Yankees, by the way, that's a thing that happened. But afterwards, I had a post-game ponder with Dad a couple hours later. My poor dad was on the toilet when I broke the news to him. It was like Elvis dying on the toilet. Me breaking the news to Big Billy Fitz about Rafael Devers being dealt to the San Francisco Giants. And that is why we are here, right now. That is, a.k.a. Jake. We're joined by, a.k.a. Liam. I am a.k.a. Fitz. This is an emergency episode of Pod on Lansdowne. If you're listening by now, I mean, why even sum up the news at this point?
You've
Liam?
heard it. Turn on the TV. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what channel. I got the Lyle video a couple of times sent to me. It doesn't matter what channel. That is true. But in case you have not been aware, in case you didn't know, the Boston Red Sox baseball club has traded away a guy by the name of Rafael Devers. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. My head is still not wrapped around this. It's been a couple hours since it's been announced. It's like me saying it out loud is now kind of coming more to terms with it. So fucking funny, the Red Sox posting though. Welcome to the Red Sox, Kyle Harrison graphic.
All the stars are here.
And Jordan Hicks. Well, yeah, all the stars are here. Yeah. Rafael Devers, who has been listed as a third baseman / DH by the Red Sox on Twitter.
That's funny. That's a good bit.
Traded to the San Francisco Giants in exchange for Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, a guy who couldn't even make it as a closer in St. Louis, by the way. That's a guy who we're talking about here. Minor league outfielder James Tibbs III. Shout out James Tibbs III. Big X the plug. Shout out to
Great name.
And
great name.
And yeah, fire name alert. We do win in that regard, to be fair. And it also minor league right-handed pitcher Jose Bayo. So Brian gets his brother back. That's good. You know, a family reunion on this Father's Day. That's nice. I don't think that makes up for the fact, Liam, that
Fitz actually. Did you list his full name?
Jose Bayo.
James Tibbs. No, James Tibbs.
No.
I have his BREF pick. Guess what his middle name is?
Big X the plug.
It's James Eugene Tibbs.
Nice.
All in on this deal. Love him.
That's a major league name.
James Eugene Tibbs, not one, not two,
good,
but
though.
three.
That's good though, because we didn't. That's good because we didn't have enough outfielders actually. So I think that's
that
good,
hit
actually.
that hit left-handed, no less.
Oh, does he really? I didn't even.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Liam, listen, I try to be a smooth enough of a host. I try to keep this show in like a general direction, like kind of pointing north or somewhere. Just, what happened, Liam? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm genuinely I don't know if I'm having like a panic attack or if I'm having it must be a manic episode at this point. Because I don't know what the hell just happened. I feel like I've been nauseous / numb for the last 2.5 hours. Yeah, what a turn of events, huh? Yeah, what else can you say? He lived an amazing life.
Telling me now for the first time. Listen, let me actually get the conversation in earnest going here. I mean, it's obviously a salary dump. Has to be. There's no other way that you could possibly. You can sit here and try to convince yourself about the prospect pedigree of Harrison. I understand that, like, he had that kind of reputation going in. I know his cup of coffee in the league, like, so far, he hasn't really lived up to it. But you could tell yourself a story about Harrison that might work out. And I understand that Jordan Hicks throws gas. Don't know anything about Eugene or Second Bayo. I can't tell you a thing about those two. As Kyle Harrison could be the best pitching prospect in baseball. That could be Jackson Jobe, as far as I'm concerned. That's still not nearly enough value for one of the 5 best hitters in baseball, I'd say. It's just not. It's simply not. Even with the contract, you can talk about, 5?
I don't know, 5.
When his OPS is about 150, Jake?
I'll
He's going to be the starting. Well, he's not going to be the starting DH for the American League in the All-Star game anymore, but he was about to be.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Well.
UMass Reindeer going, wait, is he actually related to Bayo? I have no idea. I haven't heard of the guy until 90 minutes ago, my friend. Until my life was turned upside down. Even then, even if you didn't put him in top fucking 5, dude, his OPS plus is around 150. So you just got to get him off the books. Have to get him off the books. God forbid when it's 8 years from now, he doesn't post an OPS plus north of 130. God forbid. There's nothing you can do with that, Liam. There's nothing you can do with it.
I'll take it. Liam, let me just butt in.
Or Jake.
Sorry, I just got off the phone with my financial advisor. We are buying so much Yoshida stock. It makes your fucking head spin.
Listen.
You can't believe it.
I love Red Sox Twitter. Love you guys. Love interacting with you guys. You guys have been pounding on the desk for Yoshida. How bad do you want?
It's going to make your fucking head spin how much stock I just bought.
He was behind it all. He's been the one pulling the strings.
Jake, was it you who suggested, like, what if they get 90% of Devers and Yoshida? Which is not going to happen, by the way. The guy who's leading the league in RBI.
I said, 90 is probably... I'm going to say 70%.
Even then, dude, the guy who was leading... I don't know if he still is or is not off the top of my head. I know he's at least up there for RBI.
Nasty hangnail. Just found that.
I mean, Judge jumped him recently. He might be
like the greatest right-handed hitter that we've seen in the last 15 years.
Not this weekend.
You have to deal him, Liam. That's why you have to train him. Well, you're not better than Judge, and Judge clearly sucks. He struck out about 20 times this weekend. You know what I mean? So if you can't jump that guy, who else are you gonna jump?
It just I'm trying to wrap my head around it, man. And if things really went that south in the clubhouse between Devers and Breslow and Cora and Henry, etc., like. This doesn't make any other sense to me. Like, it has to have been an irreparable relationship.
Well, here's the thing, because it has been brought to my attention that Jeff Passan did say that he wanted out, essentially. However, Chris Cotillo said that he did not demand the trade. So, like we said before we were recording, Liam, we've got a source off on our hands right here. We've got the national, like the preeminent guy in baseball Twitter reporting everything nationally versus the guy who's there day in and day out in the clubhouse. I don't know what to believe. I'm not in the clubhouse. Either way, like, if this is a matter of people being fed up with Devers, and this is something that we've mentioned in our actual episodes, the guy who is slugging the way that Devers is, like, let him be. I understand that, it makes him a better teammate if it makes him a first baseman, if he becomes a first baseman, but at the end of the day, like, He doesn't have to be the preeminent leader of the team.
I mean, I just look at it this way. If it really was that ugly behind closed doors, I mean, Christ, we dealt with we did this song and dance with Manny seemingly every year for 6 to 8 years.
My father, God love him, God love Big Billy Fitz, but he said earlier today, he was like, you know what? He could have been a leader. He decided to be Manny. And I was like, Manny was fucking awesome. What are you talking about?
I'm looking at it right now. Like Devers OPS plus this year is 152. I mean, Manny obviously is the greatest.
That was Manny's. Let's relax. That was Manny's worst year as a Red Sox. I'm looking at it right now.
It's more of a feather in Manny's cap.
I'm saying, no, Jake doesn't hear what I'm saying. I said Devers OPS plus this year is 152. Manny's career for the Red Sox OPS plus was 155. So basically, I mean, Devers is giving you average Manny Ramirez output right now offensively. And at the sign of either the first sign of trouble with him, he's just gone. I like that to me. I don't know.
At 28.
Right. I don't get it. And I don't see it in terms of the return. Hey, thank the Giants for covering the contract.
Listen, if we're going to call a spade a spade.
That doesn't move me.
If we're talking about the Giants, if we're going to call a spade, if we're going to call everything fair, who knows? Maybe Kyle Harrison is the next Randy fucking Johnson. Who fucking knows? As it stands now.
I looked at that Savant.
Yeah, you're right, Jake. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, probably not. Buster Posey, get ready to get your Cooperstown plaque. Even if you weren't going to make it as a player, now that your resume is going to be getting the first slugger since Nam to get 30-plus homers in San Francisco. You just traded for him. It's a haul for the Giants. And you could tell yourself a tale on Hicks, on Kyle Harrison. You could tell yourself a tale.
I don't really think the return matters at all.
Well, of course it matters to an extent. Come on.
Well, okay, but
Jake,
I mean big picture. I don't like the Red Sox weren't like, whoa, Kyle Harrison. Oh, it's like stupid.
Whoa, we gotta have him. We gotta.
Yeah.
What drives me crazy about this though is that if you were gonna go making this deal with the San Francisco Giants, you didn't go with the established pitcher who can force ground balls, get his fair share of strikeouts, and can be in the Cy Young race. How do you not have that conversation start and end with Logan Webb? I'm not saying that I would do that heads up.
You cannot trade $300 million. Giancarlo Stanton hits fucking 59 home runs, won MVP, and was traded for shit and ass that offseason.
He won an MVP before he was traded to the Yankees. And it's also a different world now.
I just said that. Thank you.
I know. It's a different world. How do you not have that conversation?
What do you mean he was better than Devers and got arguably a worse return? What is Starlin Castro? You writing home about fucking Starlin Castro?
Listen, Starlin Castro had a moment there. I will say.
Like, I think the return is what it is. Like, once you're giving guys
if the conversation doesn't start and end with Logan Webb, though, then you hang up the phone. It's done. It's over. You don't make the deal. What do you talk? It's not like he's a guy approaching free agency, and you make that you're not going to resign him, so you make the deal. He's already locked up. That's not what it. They were trying. You've got it ass backwards, my friend. How do I have it ass backwards? Explain to me how I have it ass backwards.
You're trying to get value for Rafael Devers.
I'm trying to get value for one of the best hitters in baseball? Yeah, you're right. I am trying to get value for the best hitter.
I think that ship sailed. I think that was like...
Well, then that's fucking stupid for the organization. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying it's stupid of the organization to do that.
You are not going to get value back, really, of any substantial value back for he's a DH.
Dan's right. The Marlins sucked, Jake. Dan is right. The Marlins sucked. It's a different context. We're game over 500 right now. We just swept the Yankees. We're 5-1 against the AL pennant defenders. This is not an apples to apples situation.
I'm not like advocating for the trade but I'm saying
fair enough.
With everything we know, I don't like it was a salary dump. Like that's what this is.
Well, it's bullshit if it's a salary dump. And I think you're right. It is a salary dump.
Sorry. I mean, I didn't make. I know.
I know you didn't. I know. I'm not trying to yell at you 100% per se.
I don't. You know what? I'll just say it. I think I'm all right with it. I talked myself into it. It took me a couple hours.
The deal?
Yeah, I'm like 90% there. I think I'm 85% there. Liam, you're muted, big dog.
Sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I got you.
No, you don't believe that. You're gonna change your mind before you
think
go to
I
bed
do.
tonight. You're gonna change your mind before you go to bed tonight.
This next few weeks, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But when everyone's healthy, when everyone's back, I think the bottom line.
I cannot believe you, Jake. I cannot believe that. I'm not trying to be like Stephen A. Smith. I'm not trying to be like reactionary, like fire emojis in the chat. Genuinely cannot believe you.
I'm honest. I'm being honest.
Jake, listen.
I appreciate you being honest, but I don't like your take.
At the current market price, the rest of Devers' contract right now is what, like 9 years, 250? Who are you going to get in free agency now at this point? A hitter like that for that kind of money? It's not like Vlad just got like 450 mil.
I don't think that's
like, how are you replacing that production at that cost?
That's not what it's about.
All right, tell me. Break it down for me.
Guys, we're unlocking things. We're unlocking things.
It's mind's eyes.
What the fuck are we unlocking?
Jake has seen it. He's seen all possible futures.
No. What are we unlocking?
There's a narrow path. All right.
Fitz, don't listen to him. He's
I won't. Fine, I'll take it.
I got my notes.
He's having a manic episode.
I got my notes. So I wrote this down. So what this does today, this is June 15th. So starting tomorrow, not tomorrow because Willier's not back yet. But whenever Willier gets back, you can kick the outfield logjam can down the road. What do you mean? We just traded for another left-handed hitting outfielder. He's a baby. He's a baby. Don't worry about that. They're gonna flip him. I don't think he's ever touching Boston.
He may even get a hitter as good as Rafael Devers with him.
So you kick that can down the road.
James Eugene could be anything.
Until you figure out which of Duran or Abreu you're sending out. That's when Massa comes back. And Massa's the key to all of this. So Massa at DH.
Just get him working.
All I need is an 840 OPS out of Massa. That's all I need. Can he give me that?
I'm going to tell you right now.
You better start.
His career in 1,000.
Can he give me that? And so I'll tell you what. All my optimism here.
Hold on, no. Jake, you've had the floor way too long. I've literally taken my headphones off twice to let you have the floor. Did you just hear what Liam said?
No, I didn't.
Liam said, repeat your point about 1,000 plate appearances.
I said in 1,000 plate appearances, Massa's OPS is 775.
And you want him to have an OPS of 850?
Okay. No, I think
that's crazy town.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And I like Masataka Yoshida. I do. I like the fact that his launch angle went up towards the second half of last year. He started driving the ball more doubles. Yeah. It was great. It was nice. Solid guy, solid player. Seems like a very nice human being. You are outside of your skull if you think you can if he can consistently give you an 850 OPS when the guy that we just traded was giving you a 150 OPS plus. You are nuts. You are crazy.
He's settling in on American soil, and then
American soil.
So he's
Dennis Reynolds.
So then, and let me just preface all this with. Throw all this out if money is not immediately allocated toward an Alex Bregman extension. Throw everything I'm saying.
Well, put that point on ice, but continue what you were saying.
So
I guess not putting it on. Continue it, but also put it on ice.
That. And lastly, I'll keep my sources anonymous, but I do have some real sources, and they fucking hate Rafael Devers. The Boston Red Sox fucking hate that guy. So that's really what this boils down to. That's like real sources. I hate to go journo on everybody, but they hated the guy. They fucking hated everything that went on these last 3-4 months.
Well, that's an indictment on the Red Sox as a whole.
Does that make the trade reasonable? No, probably not.
Right.
But that's real. Like, that's not poppycock. I'm not talking out of school. There was real shit going on in there, in that
Well,
clubhouse.
then this becomes a conversation about commitment trouble with the organization, like expecting everything of them. Like, listen, we don't have to rehash all the conversations that we had in spring training towards the
I
start
think
of
it's
the
a
year.
little important too, though. Like, not to litigate it, but to be like, I mean, this is the direct.
Okay, fair. You know what? You're not wrong there, Jake. I'll give you
Yeah.
that. You're right. But here's the thing. My stance on it hasn't changed. I said it during the Ponder after he walked it off against Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Liam has said the same thing. I know it for a fact, and Liam will back me up on this. The way he's been hitting, the way he has always hit, he can play wherever the fuck he wants. If he wants to DH, it's fine. 100%.
I agree to a point. However, the Red Sox are. I think sometimes people overrate leadership and overrate like clubhouse. Well, like in Mario Superstar Baseball, like the chemistry the guys have when you put them next to each other. I think people overrate that.
Explaining MLB transactions to a Nintendo nerd. Imagine Mario.
Like,
we just traded Yoshi for.
I think ultimately it's like good players win games. That's kind of. But that being said, somebody replied to me, and I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. I'll shout you out at the end. I'll find the tweet, but they said it seems like I don't think your most important player, your highest paid player. Well, I guess he's second highest paid right now. Whatever, your face of the franchise, whatever, cannot be. Without a better term, like a clubhouse cancer, almost like. And there's people. No, Fitz. There's people in that chat, and they said, "Jake, do you mean the front office or teammates?" Definitely the front office. And from my understanding, most of the team kept their mouth shut. But it is like a pretty bad vibe. Like the DH thing was one thing, but when he would not go to first, I guess that was sort of like the straw that broke the camera.
I understand. I'm not necessarily saying you're wrong, Jake. This is not a point against you per se. It's more against the organization.
Yeah.
I would love
to
someone to go into StatMuse and plug in Rafael Devers' numbers since whatever date it was where it said like I'm not that whole kerfuffle happened. You know what I mean? I would love to see that because that OPS is probably like what would you guess, Liam? Like 1050?
Kansas City? Are you
sure.
Like since Kansas City and the John Henry conversation?
Sure. That sounds about right. Yeah, because it was around Kansas City. He had a monster weekend there.
So locked on golf.
Since 5'9",
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Which was the first game in Kansas City, he has slashed 290, 425, 540 for an OPS of 965, 8 home runs, 32 RBIs, 26 walks.
I overestimated it a little bit, but that's still pretty damn good.
I'd say so.
So Locked On Golf just commented, so I just want to put this. He said, Nesson said Devers might play first base in San Francisco. If that's the case, then, like, fuck him, honestly. Like,
what are they going to do with Bryce Eldridge, then?
I don't have a better...
a guy that you didn't get in this deal, Bryce Eldridge, by the way.
This is a first baseman.
Huge slugging left-hander, by the way. First base, by the way. If that was such a huge issue, first base, I understand he's not necessarily ready to go right here, right now, maybe. But if that's your huge crux of the point with Casa still on the mend, you could have had that, by the way, for a guy who's, again, 150 OPS plus. Try to extract some value from that guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
If he plays
considering
first,
getting some
then
value
I wish him nothing but the worst. Frankly, honestly, like that's super fucking stupid and annoying. I don't have anything constructive to say if he goes there and is like, yeah, love to eat shit. Then, sorry. Unfortunately, listen.
See, Dane in the chat goes, Sox win 2-0.
I have since February, since Bregman signed, I have held two positions very strong. I said Rafael Devers should DH. He should not play third base. And he should also not play first base. And this is not because I thought that would make the team better. I thought he was just bad at third base and first base. Like I didn't think that I just didn't want him to play there because I thought he would be bad at it. And now it's like, I think this all just comes back to him severely overrating his own abilities as a third baseman. I hate to say it.
Well,
like a
Liam,
rational player goes, yeah, I'll DH. I'm not that good at third base. Like, how did we get here? Like, I'm sorry. He's a fucking baby. I'm mad now.
No, I'm mad on another. If this is only solely a thing of expectations and conversation, then I think that's a problem on the organization itself, Jake. He's performing. He's doing. We all knew from the jump when he was given that bag, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, on my birthday, mind you, January 4th. We all knew at the end of the day he was getting paid for the bat. It had nothing to do with the glove.
I agree 100%.
And again, would it have been nice for him to have shown a willingness to play first base when the going gets tough? Yeah, sure, I could concede that, for sure. But to expect him to immediately jump into that situation, Liam, I feel like you and I are on the same page with this. A, that wasn't necessarily realistic, and B, the fact that he was already hitting in that role, and again, performing at the fact that he would have been the starting designated hitter for the American League, I don't... My issues with the communication and whatnot, I felt like that could have been all water under the bridge. But again...
It clearly...
But no, you're right,
like,
Jake. For the organization, they didn't feel the same way, which that makes me pissed at the organization.
Like, I defended him. I defended him because, like, yeah, the bat has always been there. It will be there. But, like, I defended him, I guess, partially just because he was on the Red Sox. Like, I liked him. Good player, you know. But, like, in hindsight, like, yeah, that's fucking annoying. Like, why did he have to be such a bitch about it? I'm just like, let's call a spade a spade. That was fucking stupid. Like, what? Like, you are not a good third baseman. You go yapping like, I'm gonna bitch and moan. We just brought in a guy that has 2 fucking Gold Gloves.
But it's a pride. Like, I don't necessarily blame a guy like being prideful about
it. Sure, but dude, it's not like you're a good third baseman and they brought in a better third baseman. It's
okay, fine. But then he eventually went along with it, went to DH, and again, I recognize when the going gets tough, it's a different situation with Casas going down. I understand, it's similar, today's price is not yesterday's price. It's one of those kind of things. That was then, this is now. But at the end of the day, he's a guy who's like, okay, well, you didn't want my glove then, but all of a sudden you want me to fish out my glove? And again, these are conversations we've had ad nauseum over the last couple of months. All throughout that time, outside of the first couple of series of the year where he was striking out every 2 seconds, Rafael Devers has performed and then some. So the role that he was asked to do, he was doing it in spades. So at that point, if the point at the end of the day is for the organization to ask a guy to perform, no ifs, ands, or buts, and when he was given the contract to hit at the end of the day, and he was doing so, it's like, I don't know why the organization would get pissed. And again, this is not a point against you, Jake, per se. I'm just saying, I don't get it from the organization.
I know we have all been saying that since he got that big contract. And while I agree in principle, like, that is sort of a platitude. Like, we gave him the contract to hit. Like, yes, we did. We also gave him the contract to, like, help the team win games in a broad sense. So, like, him bitching and moaning every time they ask him to do something that could have, in theory, helped them win games, not excellent. Not something you want from the guy you're giving $30 million a year. It's just like, I get first base more. Like, that was asking a lot. When Casas went down, like, that I understand. Like, that was a bit unrealistic to be like, go play first now. But I still am rubbed wrong from the DH thing, like asking him to like, what are you really? You have your bag. You are not good at third base. There's someone much better at third base on the roster now. Like, it just, that is like, I mean, again, that's the domino for all this, but it's just, and the cop out's like, oh, the communication wasn't there. He's moving to DH. It's Liam, can you start talking? I'm over here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I mean,
listen,
my whole thing is,
Liam, you take a couple of minutes because I feel like it's been Jake and I going for
you guys
a couple.
you guys are talking
Before
through it.
before you go,
You're talking
Liam,
through it.
Jake, I love you very much. I'm not trying to yell at you.
I love you too. My headphone.
But
We love each other, folks, at Puddle Lansdowne, don't we?
I love my boys. I love my boys. My whole
Liam,
thing
go ahead.
since day one, I think they fumbled the situation, the front office. Because even when the Bregman rumors were starting, it was like, hey, there's interest on our part. To me, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like Bregman can we'll finally have a real second baseman. Bregman can play second. He can spell Devers at third some days, so Devers can actually get off his feet. That'll probably help his numbers. And then by the time Bregman got to spring training, we're a week and a half into games or whatever. It was like second or third week of February. And it was basically, yeah, sorry, man. Like you're not touching third base. And to me, like, I understand why that rubbed him the wrong way, because even I was like, oh, like this looks perfect. Bregman will play second primarily and get some days at third, so Devers can rest. And then it became, well, Campbell's tearing the cover off the ball, so actually he's going to be the second baseman. Bregman, you're our primary third baseman. Devers, don't even bother picking up the glove now that you're here. So I understand why that rubbed him the wrong way. And to Jake, I see your point where it was like, all right, once Costas came down, it was kind of like, hey, like take one for the team. But so I just think from top to bottom, like, is Devers in the wrong for the way he reacted to it? Yes. Is Breslow
was Pops wrong for this?
Breslow in the wrong for how he handled it from day one? Kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of being like, oh, like, yeah, Bregman will mostly play second, because like that was kind of the word on the street. It was like, oh, they view Bregman as a second baseman, et cetera, et cetera. And then that simply wasn't the case as soon as Bregman showed up at the fort.
I gotta get some juice.
So all that, I understand Devers' frustration. Do I agree with how he handled it? No. Do I agree with how Breslow handled the whole thing? No. And now here we are. So everybody loses. No one's a winner, except for John Henry, because that contract is off the books.
Someone
overall,
pointed out, Liam,
big L.
Do you feel at least a little bit responsible for this as a Liverpool fan, considering that you guys were
let me tell you something.
Shaking ass for Florian Wirtz.
Isak better be on the way. Now that Devers is out the door.
Isak in, Roman Anthony out. I'll fucking kill you. How about that, right?
I just want to give a quick shout out just before we keep going. I just want to give a quick shout out to Ocean Spray. This is not
no
sponsored.
free ads. No free ads.
This is a genuine endorsement. No free ads.
No free ads. I love Ocean Spray, and this is my most favorite flavor in the whole wide world: cran watermelon. It'll blow your balls off. So,
good to know.
Ocean Spray, cran watermelon.
Chad is yelling at you about Florian Wirtz.
We just got a Chris Cotillo tweet.
Oh,
a source with knowledge of the Sox-Devers relationship described it tonight as a, begin quote, unsalvageable situation for both parties, and end quote. Devers was frustrated with mixed messaging from, begin quote, different voices, end quote, in the organization, felt like a scapegoat. The root was what the player felt was disorganized communication from the jump this year. Well, let's break this down.
Well, he's not necessarily wrong, the disorganized communication, which, again, before we break it down, may I just say, yeah, and Liam's right, absolutely, this is not something new for Fenway Sports Group. We have seen this before. We will see it again down the line when we have to extend Roman Anthony in 5 years, which, side note, by the way, if they come out in a day or two and say that they've given Roman Anthony and or Marcelo Meyer a huge deal, not saying that will resolve the situation.
With the Bregman extension, I'm happy.
I'm not saying that will resolve everything. All sins are forgiven. It will at least let it go down just a little bit smoother. Hogdale is right, though, and I think C-Diz said it earlier, over the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see a lot of mudslinging one way or the other from Devers' camp, FSG's camp. I don't know what to believe. I'm not there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fitz. I do have something to say regarding
there is something to be said about the communication thing, Jake, that you were going on to, so you have the floor from there. You're not necessarily off far off the beaten path, I would say.
Me?
Yeah, you started to talk about the quote from Castillo to start to break it down regarding the communication breakdown. So,
well, I just wanted to say first regarding the hit pieces that are inevitably going to come. Normally, I say be wary, be skeptical of this stuff. However, we have been hearing this for 4 months now. So, like, I don't think it's like.
I also didn't think it was going to get to this point.
I didn't either.
I had a Heim Bloom in the airport situation when I first heard it. Like, give me a minute. Give me 2 minutes.
Yeah. So the communication.
Can I say this?
Yeah, Liam, go ahead.
Before you get into that, Jake. As far as Cotillo's like Devers was frustrated by mixed voices or hearing from multiple voices, etc. Cora should get some blame for this too. No? Because if Breslow was telling Devers, like, hey, would you mind just moving to DH? Hey, then would you mind just moving to first? Meanwhile, Cora the whole time it seemingly was throwing his hands up. And I remember there was I guess there was a report that Breslow was the one that initiated the first base conversation. Like, Cora was not part of that as a means of like protecting the relationship in the clubhouse or something. So to me, that tells me again, Cora is not on the same page with the front office. He wasn't aligned with Heim ever. We knew that. And if you remember during the Craig Breslow search, executives were turning us down because they were like, well, Cora's got a lot of influence. So now you've hired a guy and it's seemingly is also not aligned with Cora. I don't understand what that dynamic is right now and whether or not that's something that needs to be looked at.
I agree, but I will say Cora and Breslow, from my understanding, were aligned on this.
No, I'm just talking in terms of like, because I'm sure Cora in spring training was like, oh, like Devers now, like at first, like, oh no, you'll still play plenty of third, et cetera, and then that just was never the case.
Can I just? Devers is 28 years old.
No, he should have handled it better. I'm sorry.
Like, what is he? I mean,
I completely agree
16? With. Like, we're talking about this guy like he's a fucking minor. I don't.
No, I think all parties should have handled it better. Bottom line.
Hey, Raph, it's just the lineup's looking a little different this year. You think you could maybe DH? Yeah. There you go. That's an alternate universe over there. And we're all happy.
Here's what I'll say.
What the fuck has happened?
Here's what I'll say. Liam's onto something here because as someone who has defended Alex Cora many times on this very program, he has been the common denominator in all this. Miscommunication, people coming in and out the door, all these things that have happened, pre-Mookie, post-Mookie, fair or unfair, however you want to put it. He's the guy who has survived through all of this.
Fucking
so
cockroach.
No, I didn't say that. If he felt a certain way, similar to what Craig Breslow did, the guy who ended up pulling the trigger on this deal, I'm kind of talking out loud here, so forgive me if there's a little bit of,
do you want us to walk with you?
Half-baked? I need you to walk with me. I'm not walking you. You guys got to walk with me a little bit here, but okay. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. If he's on the same page with Breslow on this, on a deal that on the surface I don't agree with, again, not to reiterate it, but it's the truth. I don't agree with it. If Cora is in lockstep there and he is the guy who has been leading the clubhouse over these last couple of years of miscommunication, similar to what I said a couple weeks ago against, and Liam and I also brought this up in terms of, lack of fundamentals on the field. Maybe this is an addendum to that. In addition to this, at what point do we put some stock here on Cora? And again, leaving a light on for Cora. I've defended Cora many a times. I've criticized Cora on some decisions here and there, like within the game. I'm not talking about like the big picture sort of situation, but there have been times I've absolutely both defended and critiqued Cora. But in the big picture, if that is the case, like you just suggested, Jake, if this doesn't work out, this specific iteration of the team, Where does that
What
lie on
is
Cora?
that even though? It's so murky now.
It's one without Rafael Devers, I'll tell you right now. And it clearly, if Cora and Breslow were that locked up on it, it's one without Cora, or one without Devers, rather, who was by far your best hitter on the team. So you better fucking perform without him.
Yeah.
Communication, leadership be damned, all that stuff. You better perform without one of the best hitters in baseball hitting at the top of your lineup. And if it doesn't work out that way, and if it is the way that we're reading it, where Cora is not, quote Goodfellas, don't give me the babe and the routines routine here, Karen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I heard you on those tapes, Cora.
I wish there were tapes. That'd be great.
We're gonna keep you out of jail.
I just,
yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand how at the very least, like, sure, I could see Breslow and Cora disagreeing on a positional situation for somebody like David Hamilton, but to not be aligned in terms of a position with Rafael Devers, like that blows my mind. Like, what was Cora telling him? Like, oh, like, no, like, you'll be fine. Like, by the time he was a full-time DJ, she was like, no, like, don't worry about first. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand what those two are, what their conversations are like, but just the bad communication, man. Here we go again.
Complete side note before we get into that point, Jake. I don't want to forget this point. JPM Paul Allen, big friend of the program on the YouTube chat. Also, youtube.com/@PodOnLansdowne for the new people in here. We got about 215 people in the chat. We record every Tuesday. We don't just do it when your franchise player gets traded. We actually do this consistently, believe it or not, talking about the Red Sox. Paul Allen says, Oracle is a bad park for hitters, so it could be interesting to see what happens. Probably will be offset by playing multiple games.
I saw,
Also, before you say that, Liam, I will say, yeah, it's one of those situations, since Bonds, no one has hit 30 plus homers.
Since 04, yeah, since 04. They showed it on Sunday Night Baseball tonight.
Devers is also going to fucking pepper triples alley. I'm not saying that he's going to hit triples all the time, but that left center field, that left center field power alley is doubles paradise for the kid. So he's gonna cook there. But what were you saying, Liam? I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. They haven't had a 30 home run hitter since 04. That was my note. That's all.
But yes, back to the matter at hand, the Boston Red Sox. And again, commendations to the San Francisco Giants. They had the opportunity to get one of the best hitters in baseball, which they needed. Especially
we weren't even dropping him. Buster Posey? What a fucking vulture, man!
Oh, I hate Buster Posey. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Listen, here's where I'm at. I'm gonna break it down a little more for you. I think.
Oh God.
What? No,
I'm just breaking your balls. I'm sorry.
Fuck, man. I just think that if it was, so it seems like it does seem like it was unsalvageable. Like, I think everybody was like, I hate you.
You're like, oh wow, this is kind of fucked, huh?
Yeah, I hate each other. I hate you. I hate him. I think they're looking down. The kids are here, and it's like, no, you know what? I don't know. I lost it in there. You were
going to say what? By the time there's a next true contending Red Sox team, Devers will be over the hill. Is that where you're headed?
Well, maybe that's an interesting. You want to spin that one on me?
Well, I wouldn't have agreed with that.
I'm thinking the next true Red Sox contender could have been this year if Devers was still on.
Yeah. Relax.
No, I'm saying in terms of just making the playoffs. Like when we started the season, we were like, this lineup's gonna be good. Like
in a 12-team playoff, any of those 12 teams is a contender. We saw it with the Phillies in 22, D-backs in 23.
And now I'm like, how are you replacing that production?
You're a contender. My dad. Not to go all fucking Bill Simmons mode here. My dad, who loves the Red Sox, he posed a good question though. Like, who now is the face of the Red Sox? And I had to stop for a second. And I'm like, it's
gonna be Alex
Tanner Houck. It's Tanner Houck.
It's Tanner Houck.
He's the longest tenured Red Sox.
It's
face of the organization. I stopped for a second. I'm like,
Garrett
Jesus, is it Garrett Crochet? You think?
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
There's
Not
also
Narv?
something to be said about like
You know
a
what?
Roman
You know what I
playing
was-
every day.
So this is
that, you
gonna
know?
sound. I'm gonna sound like LeBron here, but that's fine. When they announced the City Connects, the Green City Connects this year,
Devers was not part of that photo shoot.
Devers was not part of the photo shoot.
Noticing.
And I thought to myself, that's weird. Now, did I think he'd be traded a month later? No. But I did notice it.
Would have been crazy if you said, "Now, did I expect him to be traded in a month?" Yes, I actually had money on
I
it.
did. No, but I did like
By Father's Day, it just cooked. It
I
just
do think
clocked
they were
in.
like-
Just
I
happened.
do think that everybody in that organization was just like, this guy's a fucking asshole. Like, I'm really sick of him. It seems like that is basically what happened, actually. That's not me being... I'm not really hypothesizing there. It does seem like we're getting from multiple writers now, like they just fucking hated it.
The thing is, there have been, in the history of baseball, there have been way bigger assholes who haven't
Than
performed
Rafael
at
Devers.
nearly enough of a clip as Rafael Devers is.
Unless he's like trashing the clubhouse and we don't know about
Right?
it. Like, what the hell's happening?
I mean, you have had fucking racists, fucking sex predators, sex pests who have not performed at the clip that Rafael Devers is doing right now, and they've been scot-free. But, man.
You know, what'd be cool though is what if? So here's this. Walk with me. I also think it boils down to like you don't want to be paying a DH, not regardless of who he is, but like $30 million is a lot to pay for a guy that doesn't touch the diamond. And if you
threshold
think you
goes
can,
up, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
no,
that.
I don't know.
You know, it's one of those things. And that could lead into a further point that I wanted to make. I'm just keeping it in the back of my head. But if you had a further point to mention, continue. Calico Jack in the chat. Jake will say, "Hear me out," and then take 20 seconds to start a sentence.
Yeah.
I will say, however, I am a proponent of someone taking their time before formulating a point. I will say that. So I'll back Jake a little bit on that.
I just hope they make some more moves now, like selling or I don't know.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, like trade one of the outfielders. Let's just get cooking, man. I don't know.
But see, that's the thing. Now I don't think an outfielder is moving.
Can I also say something? This is a real thought about Devers. Not the most. He gets hurt a lot. I don't know. That's a real opinion. Like he's banged. He is severely banged up.
You cut his playing time exponentially by putting him at DH. There's less opportunity for him to get hurt. I understand he had the groin situation
he was
recently.
Super ecstatic about that move and was a huge proponent of it. And I bet it was a really positive experience for all involved when they presented that to him.
It ended up working out on the field. He ended up being a fucking great hitter.
Yeah, no, you're right. So off the field, how'd that go?
To the point where they had to trade him, where again I don't agree with it. I'm just telling you. Like, listen, if we're talking results, those are the results. Now, granted, he had the situation with his groin the other day, but is what it is.
I think they're gonna win 6 of 9 on this road trip, and it's gonna be hilarious.
Ewing theory.
House, I gotta say, are they better with?
Ooh,
but first, Pearl Jam.
This could be fun. What if he really was a cancer in the clubhouse? Like, what if it's a real weight off everybody?
There's no way for me.
Obviously, nobody.
What if?
Say that,
what if anything, Jake? What if a bomb fell on your head?
All right.
Yeah, now I don't think an outfielder moves at all because now you can play all 4 of those guys every day.
Well, not when Massa's ready.
I still don't think he's ever come.
Massa's the key to all this. If we
I
can
still
Massa
don't
go,
think I don't think we're ever seeing
be
him.
ready tomorrow now because he can hit, right? He just can't throw.
I think they still want to send him on like a rehab assignment.
Yeah, but I mean, could they start that tomorrow now? Now that it's like, well, the
I don't
DH
know.
is open.
I don't know. I still don't think we see him.
No, see, I thought that until 6 o'clock today. I think now they're like, I'm all in. I told you, I told you I bought a lot of stock right after the trade went through. A lot of Masa stock.
Masa's Jake did. He's from Leo. Masa has made a miraculous recovery. Brother Yoshida never existed. Does Yoshida have a locker? YouTube chat going off about Yoshida right now. Wasn't he put on the 60-day IL? Did I hallucinate that?
Yeah, it's retroactive. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
All right, so are you guys out on the 25 Red Sox now?
No, I mean,
I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you replace that production.
Exactly.
With Bregman already down for at least another month. So what? You're
I just told you how.
With Masa. That's your kid.
That's right.
All right.
I hope you're right. YouTube chat is out on the team, and I'll get it, but
not for nothing.
This is something. Hold on.
Anthony will, I imagine, start to hit at some point, which will help.
Yeah, he's not going to go hit like 100 or whatever it is for his entire career.
Also, Trevor Story, good again. All of a sudden, watch out for that.
Of all people to bring that up,
he's had a hell of a
what's
week.
gotten into you?
I mean, let's call it. I think.
Who are you? What have you done with Jake Wallinger?
I think this trade gave me a lobotomy. I feel I'm so. I stared at my. I was at dinner. We got home from dinner. I literally sat outside on the front steps, and I stared at like a tree for 20 minutes. I just thought about Kyle Harrison, and fucking what's the other one? Jordan Woods.
We were joking about his name 45 minutes ago.
Jordan Woods. That's
Jordan Hicks. Oh yeah.
That's Carl Anthony Towns' girlfriend. She's the one that she's who Tristan Thompson cheated on Khloe Kardashian with. You guys,
of course,
remember that?
Of course.
You guys weren't in on that?
Yeah, I wasn't.
I vaguely remember right now that you are jogging.
I wasn't involved.
Okay.
Jordan Sparks that we got on.
Jordan,
to bring it back to American Idol. Aaron Hicks. Jordan Wick 3 Parabellum. When you make a good baseball trade, that quote, what's his name again? Yeah, no, you're right, Zach. No, you're right. Yeah, that's what you love that. Oh, you love this. You love this.
I can't.
Can I say one thing that genuinely did surprise me? I don't know why I keep asking to talk. It's my fucking podcast. I mean, I'm on this with you guys, right? It is admittedly very funny that they didn't just get take a flyer on a catcher in this trade, like a backup catcher. You're telling me the Giants didn't.
Brother, they took one flyer on a Giants catcher. His name was Blake Sable, and they were like, "No, thank you."
He's in Worcester. He's in Worcester.
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah, they DFA'd him. He cleared waivers, so he's in Worcester. Nobody wanted him.
Oh, okay.
I'm just now seeing this. Jonathan Papelbon tweeting 5 hours ago. Everybody calm down. Devers isn't getting traded. Readers added context they thought people might want to know. Rafael Devers was, in fact, traded. Thank you, Pap. I appreciate it. Sorry, I was wrong. Everybody go crazy. Devers got traded.
Again. I just asked to talk again.
Jump in there.
I think everybody, understandably, was a little on edge. People were talking a little crazy about Rafael Devers' career outlook.
How so?
People were like, he's going to wear a Red Sox hat going into the Hall of Fame. Relax. He's going to be a DH for the next 10 years.
I'm not saying
put up 4 WAR a year.
I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I also think you kind of saw it. Some detractors at times were being like, oh, well, I mean, fucking Jeff Passan himself said earlier tonight, what was the exact verbiage, that the contract was going to be quote unquote underwater soon enough. So other GMs across the league saw it as a fair enough of a move from the Red Sox. For a guy who's 28 years old. Yeah, I'm not, this is not me saying he's, I'm not saying he's going to Cooperstown. I'm just saying that currently you have a 28-year-old guy who's posting about a 150 OPS plus, and you have him locked in for the time being, and he's just going to continue to mash. There's no sign that he's not going to continue to do so. You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, there's no sign until there's a sign. I mean, that's kind of.
I suppose, but he's 28 years old, dude. Like, and he's not playing in the field where he got hurt a ton of the time.
You know who's probably
a lot of the time, like
sad
you had mentioned.
today?
It's
Brian
you know what I
Bayo.
mean?
Probably sad. Sad for him.
sad for
Yeah.
Bayo.
I think that was
I believe
Devers'
that.
only friend on the team.
Guy pitches 7 innings and then
7 innings, Brooke
bang.
Has there ever in the history of Red Sox, at least in the history of this show, has there ever been more of a "we're back, it's over" than the end of the game today?
Never.
Within the span of 5 hours? No, there's been no volatile change like this.
5 hours? It was like 2 hours. The trade went through it like.
I'm just trying to give an open enough of a
I'm
from
just
the
saying,
start of this game.
It's even tighter than that.
No, but no.
It was like
Point
maybe
remains.
2.5
You're right.
hours.
You're right.
Yeah. Life of the Sox. It's funny, Liam. I replied to you yesterday when you were
You're like,
"Who has
Sox
it worse
fan,
than
too."
me?" You were like, "You're a Sox fan too." It's like, if only I knew. Who knew? Who knew what was coming for us?
He already knew.
One thing I will say, and I've been keeping this on the back burner, and people are going to groan with this because I'm bringing it up, but in the grand scheme of things, it's pertinent to bring up.
Oh, brother, here we go.
I think Liam knows where I'm going to go with this.
That's all we're going to hear about.
But it's worth bringing up.
Oh boy.
You paid Devers.
Oh, here we go.
Yep, there it comes.
And backed out of it. 2 years prior, you could have gotten a better player locked down at a better price. That player's name is Mookie Betts.
Oh, that was 5 years ago, but go off.
From when the extension happened? Fine, 3 years.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant from now.
No. Well, yeah, no, I'm saying from when his contract would have expired. Compared to when it would have expired to when you could have had.
That's the original sin, sure.
But it's worth.
Oh, nice. Victor Jensen said exactly that at the same exact time as me. It is. It all comes back to that because Devers is not. I mean, listen. God bless the guy. That's not the guy you give the bag.
5 people just left after I mentioned Mookie Betts, by the way. But that it is what it is. You know. I called it before. I was like, people are gonna get annoyed about it, but it is what it is.
Here we go.
And I don't think we harp on that on this show too often. I really don't think we do. But in this situation where it's this big of a sea change, it's worth mentioning. Calico Jack mentioning in the chat, the entire justification of letting Mookie and Xander go was so we could pay Devers. You just can't do that, man. Well, Calico Jack, you're on the right track. Not rhyming accidentally.
That was good.
After 18, you could have feasibly paid 2, but definitely paid 1 of the 3. You dicked around with Xander, and then you got outbid. You shouldn't have given him the contract that San Diego gave him. We all know that. But had you actually been serious, again, something that we've mentioned on the show a couple of years ago, had you actually
listen,
been serious,
I don't like that framing because even if they were serious, he's still bad. Like, let's not that one.
I'm okay with that one.
We were all right.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I'm okay with that one.
Right.
Okay, fine. At that point, you still. Now, in hindsight is 2020. You could have secured Mookie Betts at reasonable enough money. And this is not to shit on Rafael Devers. I feel like I've taken a lot of time in this emergency podcast to defend what Rafael Devers has done as a player. You still got to got a better player at better AAV.
Well,
they were bullied into extending Rafael Devers.
Rightfully
so, they were bullied.
And now they're all gone.
It's all over. And now it's all over, to quote Henry Hill. They were rightfully so bullied into extending Devers after the bet situation. To quote Cher, if I could turn back time. You know what I mean? If I knew what I know then. If I could turn back time.
I think I'm just numb.
Comfortably numb, yeah.
He couldn't have just said, yeah, I'll DH. He couldn't have said that. I mean, here we are.
It can't just be so much of a matter of that conversation. It really can't just be a matter of, will you play first? No. Okay. We'll trade the $300+ million man. That just it can't work like that. I refuse to believe that.
I think it was a snowball. What, Liam?
Do we think this goes back even further? Like, is there shit from last year or 2023 that we don't even know about?
What else could it be outside of incompetence then, Liam? Like the oral history on this in 25 years is going to go crazy.
I'm so full from left-handed hitting outfielders.
Kyle Tucker and Bregman.
Oh, Frommer. Yeah, let's just rebuild.
Alex Cook. AC, he's been running this shit. He's bringing his boys back.
I will say.
I'm just.
I will say this right here on the record.
Yeah, Fitz, put it on the record.
I understand that there is an outfield logjam. I get it.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Soto.
Kyle Tucker is one of the 5 best players in baseball, full stop. I know I've said that Devers is one of the 5 best hitters in baseball. I know I said that earlier in the show. Kyle Tucker is one of the 5 best players, period, full stop in baseball. It is a pipe dream given the outfield logjam. If they somehow were able to allocate that money to Kyle Tucker, I'll be singing it a little bit of a different tune. This is not to shit on Rafael Devers.
Understandable.
However, now that money is now freed up on the books, it's got to go somewhere. It's got to go somewhere.
I mean, can I just here? I just looked this up because I think this is also kind of. Passon said this. It's like math, and I know, like we hate nerds. We hate the nerds, you know. But listen to this. Devers right now on Fangraphs, he has 1.9 F/WAR. So what was today? Game 80 or 81?
73.
Oh,
yeah.
You sure?
Way off. Bad Price is Right guess.
All right. So say I don't think Devers was going to hit the ball better than he did this for. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe he'd get to like close to 1,000, but he's not. So that means best case scenario, he's like a 4.5 WAR player, which is great. But is it 30 million and headaches all the time? Great. And I think that's probably just what the calculus was. Like, I think it's like he's your D. He's not going to play the field again because he's bad at it, and that's going to tank his value. It's like it's going to hurt his value even more. So you may as well DH him. He's got 1.9 WAR hitting the shit out of the ball. F/WAR, excuse me. And it's like
how much WAR did you say there, Jake? Like for a DH?
I said
4.5.
I said best, probably 4. Best case scenario 4.5.
Best case scenario 4.5. Okay, let me just ask you this.
So yeah, I mean, Hogdale says he's market value, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's market value, and also he's fucking giving everyone a headache all the time. They probably were like,
let me ask you.
Fuck it.
Let me ask you this.
All right.
Let me ask you this.
I hate when you throw numbers back at me. I look like an idiot. Let's do it.
A DH, primarily a DH. Baseball Reference isn't cooperating right now, but I'll rattle off his last 6 or 7 years of WAR. 2.8, 4, 3.2, 4.4, 2.6, 3, 5.1. Would that be worth paying that much money?
Not until that 5.1 year, probably.
Okay, that's David Ortiz.
Trevor still... Okay.
That's David Ortiz's WAR, by the way. His last, like,
David
7
Ortiz
years.
also wasn't pissing people off every day. Like, that's what I'm
yes,
saying.
He was. Oh, that is revisionist history. Oh, 29, 09, 2010, around that time. Are you kidding me?
He sucked those 2 years. Shit was bad.
Yeah, those is 1 year. He came off of a 6.4 WAR year to 1.7, then he went right back to 2.8 WAR, then 4 WAR in 2011.
I mean, I'll say this: Ortiz was on 1 and 2 year deals, also. Like the
always, constantly, yeah.
Well, what?
I'm just telling you.
No, I know, and I'm
that's the WAR we're talking about.
Yeah, that Mike Lowell pinch hit in 2012 in Seattle. Chills. I remember exactly where I was.
They never paid him. I mean, if you can get away with it, listen. I say this all the time. I am pro-union. I'm pro-labor. This is also a business. Like, you don't have to be nice to players and pay them. Like, if you can pay a guy less than he's worth, that's good for your team. You know. Now you're making me sound like a fucking scab. I mean, let's not do this.
Scabby Wallinger. The table has been turned. I've been called the scab before by you, Jake. I didn't even say a thing. You're saying, oh, you're projecting onto yourself, Wallinger. I didn't say a thing about you being a scab.
This shit sucks, man. I fucking hate it here.
It's very funny that Jake scoped me out. I was like, oh, you're going to point numbers to make me sound like a fool. It's just not fun times, man.
I don't get it, man.
It was fun times. This afternoon, we were having a ball.
Hey, I would like to say one thing. Ainsley S. Fitz, you pin that one for me? Ainsley S. says, but who cares? It's not my money. This is a common sort of refrain with professional sports when people sign contracts.
Which I agree with for the most part. Yeah.
See, but that's not how any of this works. Like, you should care because whether they say it or not, like, there is a finite amount of money these guys are going to spend on a roster. Like, you should care because they're not. No one's going to just keep.
It's very much real, but I don't see them giving out $600 million to Kyle Tucker next offseason after this move.
No, of course not. No, that's a pipe dream for me. With me saying that, me noticing that is not indicative of the fact that they're going to do that. I could fire up MLB The Show 26 in a couple of months and make that signing myself. You know what I mean?
He had to know that the backlash to this was going to be generational. Like, there's got to be something loaded up, right? Right?
Yeah, there's got to be. There's got to be.
The Faith Rewarded World Series 2025 tape in the middle of it's going to have Craig Breslow saying, "I felt like the loneliest man in New England." Like Theo after he traded Nomar.
Yeah.
You guys remember that clip?
Breslow left the ballpark in a gorilla suit tonight.
they're taping Devers. He goes, "Well, see you later, guys."
The fact that they interviewed Devers post game too, it was like, like we've been playing really well lately. Gone.
We.
I don't get it, man. I don't know what. To you guys, best case scenario, what does the rest of the season look like?
Best case scenario is a World Series championship fantasy. I'll tell you that right.
No.
Literally, best case scenario.
Let's be real.
Best case scenario is that we win the World Series and I win the lottery as well. So we both win. In all honesty,
I hope they trade one of the outfielders for an arm at some point. I will say. Yeah,
I will eat a little bit of crow. I didn't think that the Red Sox would drop Duran in the order like they have in recent days. So
yeah, and he's looked like shit too.
Is that indicative of something? Potentially, I don't know.
He can't hit lefties.
I just think they got lefties all weekend, so I get why Ref was in there.
Best case scenario is, I mean, Hogdale just said like Devers, like they're vindicated. Devers was a cancer. The clubhouse is pretty good. We win a bunch. The rookies play well. Bregman comes back, does well, extends, and you're a wild card team. I would say that's like a successful year.
I was going to say 86 wins. Although, to be fair, like, if I'm going to sit here and sing the praises of Devers, I would have still said, had they not made the trade tonight, best case scenario would have been high 80s wins anyways. It's just, to me, the road to those 86, 87, 88, whatever number, fielder's choice, whatever number you want, that road gets a lot more narrow.
There's a narrow path, but
the path to 270 is getting more narrow. Lisa Al Gaib. We need him right now, Roman Anthony.
The Devers thing, and not even just this year, the last from him, from coming up as a little baby boy to getting the extension and then all the stuff, like he's they want him to be a leader and he's not a leader and stuff. And that's not his fault. Like, I never needed him to be a leader as far as like mentoring people and shit. But in my heart of hearts, I do legitimately think that the stuff this year was incredibly immature on his end. And I don't think he's fully to blame, but like, it's not like he has autonomy. You know, he could have stopped this at any point.
I also thought it wouldn't have culminated to this, but again, I don't know shit about fuck, to be fair. And, you know, it is what it is. There have been plenty of times on this podcast I've been wrong, and there'll be plenty more times that I'm wrong. Brandon in the chat gives the opposite situation. What's the worst case? The worst case is clearly the offense takes a complete nosedive without their best hitter, and the pitching, to their credit, as good as the starting pitching has been in recent days,
I'll tell you what,
they
this weekend made me
can't hold up.
I was like, Bayo today was special.
Yeah, that was really good.
That's like what I've been waiting for
seen him look like
three
that.
fucking years with him. I was like, oh my god, he can do that. That seventh inning, man, I got chills. I got real, actual chills.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to come back out. That was cool.
Dobbins was awesome. Like, if that's your 5,
Dobby has no master.
That's pretty cool.
Dobby is a free ace.
I don't know. I actually, yeah. What a weird day, huh?
Christ. What, I mean, top 5 strangest days in Red Sox history.
I keep meaning to make the tweet,
Liam?
the 30 Rock. That's like, what a season, huh? It's like Lemon. It's June 15th.
Yeah, right. Lemon, it's Father's Day.
I've been meaning to make that.
Before we end it, try to think of top 5 weirdest days in Red Sox history. YouTube chat, help us out if you can.
weirdest days.
This is up there. Yeah, 2011 last day.
Trade deadline 2014.
That's a good one.
Lackey.
Yeah. Well, trade deadline where we got rid of Manny as well.
Yeah, no, wait. Yep. That's
getting rid of Crawford and
Doug Mirabelli
as well. Nomar trade 04 where I cried my eyes out. A couple people have already said Nomar Day. Cried my eyes out when that happened. Fun story about that because it involves my dad. There were rumors about that a couple days leading up to the deadline. I was in a pool. My dad came out to me and said, "Hey," got my attention, and he just kind of looked at me solemnly and went like, "He's gone." And I knew instantly what he meant. And I went,
talking about Grandpa.
You never called.
No, Mark. I knew right away.
I cried when Manny got traded in 08.
Matt Dermody. That was a strange day. Yeah, that was a strange day indeed.
Kyle Bearclaw. Yeah.
Evaldi Day in 2018. That was a heroic day. I don't know if it was a strange day. Bobby,
yeah, I feel like the criteria here is there's like off-field plus on-field stuff all in the same day. Like the Mookie trade, yes, surely bizarre, but it happened in February?
Brandon in the chat, you guys have been on for how long today and you haven't mentioned that the Red Sox swept the Yankees? First of all, we did mention that the Red Sox swept the Yankees. First of all, we did.
Also, Brandon.
Second of all, this is a Devers emergency trade situation.
Pod.
Third of all, we will mention all the other stuff in the actual episode that posts on Wednesday. So don't you worry, Brandon. Don't you worry. Pizza Throw has to be an honorable mention. Yeah, Pizza Throw is not top 5, Sam.
Maybe
but
Theo. Maybe Theo's like leave of absence.
Yeah,
Theo with the gorilla. Yeah, that's a good one.
Day Sale was traded. Sam mentioned. Yeah, I mean
that was like
wild, but like it wasn't. It wasn't this. We didn't do an emergency sale podcast. I will say that. Garrett Richards, the day he gave the jacket quote, doesn't make what did Hogdale say? Doesn't make the list, but I'll always remember Garrett Richards. Yeah, remember Garrett Richards? That fucking
junk ball
crazy
G.
breaking ball.
The Sale injuries. Yeah, the Sale bike injury.
Sale bike injury.
Yeah,
two people
that's
in
a
a row.
good one. That's a really good one.
I did want to.
Pablo's belt snapping
again, and I'm not going to find it now. Oh, worst case scenario. I lost it, but here. Kaliko Jack. He says worst case scenario is Crochet asks out. Bregman walks. No free agents want to sign here, and because of the front office and the ownership. And I want to address this framing of everything. First off, we honestly I know from the outside it's like we traded our best hitter.
Pablo Instagram day, by the way.
We have no idea
legacy.
actually how that locker room how that clubhouse feels about Devers and how we're not in there. Maybe they're like, yeah, this needed to happen. Maybe they're not. I honestly don't know. But if it was,
you're right, Jay. It's speculate. Like we're not there. We can speculate till the cows come home.
Maybe this is galvanizing. They're like, we're buying in now. Like everybody's bought it. Maybe it's not. Maybe this all shit comes fucking crumbling down on the West Coast today.
I will say I try not to get too much into it, and maybe we did a little bit. Maybe I sound hypocritical saying that right here, right now. I try not to get too much into that because, again, we're not fucking insiders. We had Woo Sox press passes, and we were like, we're Smiley. You know what I mean? We're not 100% like in the weeds at all. But maybe, Jake, maybe you are onto something. I don't know. I'm not there in the room.
And again, I'm completely just thinking out loud, but like this is a big enough move where it's funny all year we've been like, Craig's got balls. Like he's not afraid to do shit. And it's like, evidently, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think I just didn't expect him to trade Devers. That's all.
Yeah. So, but that being said, like I feel like he would have sort of, even if Breslow is personally like, I hate Rafael Devers, I do feel like he would talk to Cora. He would at least have like a sense of the vibe if you trade your best player. Like, so I guess I'm hopeful that the clubhouse, this sounds awful to say, but like I do hope they hated him, like for my own sake. You know, like I hope they
It'll help you sleep at night. It'll help you sleep at night.
POLOOC. That's gonna bang.
And then also in that Kaliko Jack comment says no free agents want to sign here because our front office and ownership have shown they're not a team with competitive aspirations. People say this all the time in every sport, and money talks. Okay, it literally, like maybe there's a guy who's like late in his career and he really wants to win a ring. That's its own sort of thing. But 9 times out of 10, you give a guy the bag, he's gonna come here.
I looked at The Athletic just did a. Like,
and the one time you give the guy the bag,
poll.
you trade him away, and then we are currently in that 1 time out of 10.
I will say the Athletic actually did a like league-wide players poll this past week, and
yeah,
the Red Sox, in terms of like organization, like the reputation among players, they were top 3rd. Cora's reputation, like players want to play with him, he got top 3rd amount of votes. Like, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong here. I just think all parties involved in this particular situation in a vacuum fucked up. That's all.
Well, you know what's not fucked up, Liam? The fact that you can get 10% off at Foco.com when you use promo code POL10 at checkout. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Foco.com is one of our newest friends. They're one of the leading manufacturers in officially licensed collectibles, apparel, accessories, home decor, and much more. For over 25 years, Foco's success is directly related to their ability to bring exciting new designs and product ideas that allow you to show off your fandom at the game. You just better hope the fuck it's not Rafael Devers gear that you order. You can order Red Sox gear. Wouldn't order any Rafael Devers gear unless you're a Giants fan. Could do
guys. I hand to God, I almost pulled the trigger on a Devers City Connect like 72 hours ago.
Dodge that bullet.
They were going for 140 on Fanatics. I was like,
one bullet that
they didn't have my size.
One bullet that you shouldn't dodge, Liam, though, is that right now we're offering a 10% discount code on all Foco items, in stock items, not the pre-order stuff. So if you want to pre-order any Rafael Devers San Francisco Giants stuff,
I'll tell you what, I'm looking right now. There may be some Rafael Devers stuff on sale.
Oh,
so on sale, then add promo code POL10 on top of that at checkout for in-stock merch. You get
nothing's on sale just yet, but keep an eye out.
Yeah. But we're just looking out for the consumer. What can you say? Again, that promo code at checkout for in-stock items, and you can also find a link in the description wherever you find this podcast, is POL10. That is P as in pod, O as in on, L as in loss, as in we just lost Rafael Devers, 10. Again, Foco.com. Find your fandom with Foco. Thank you, by the way, to Dan for reminding me to do the ad read. All the ads on Spotify are going to be stacked at the end of this episode. you're an hour 20 into it at this point, basically, but we're sick in the ads at the end. This is an emergency episode. We'll be back with a regular episode later in the week. But yeah. I don't know, man. Jared going, you guys have 4 rings since 2004. You're absolutely right, Jared. We do.
Who the fuck is this? Why are you in here? You guys. Who are you?
Yeah, Jared, show yourself. I just see a purple J. I just see a purple J behind there. Cowardice, Jared. Cowardice over there. We also just lost our slugger. Everyone, YouTube chat, yell at Jared. Nicely, but yell at Jared. No one has
it worse than us. Not one person.
Hogdale goes, this says a lot about society. And yet, we live in one.
You know what I thought about today? Like, one of the earlier things I thought about is Devers Enjoyer can never come back now. Ever.
Oh! Yeah. Oh, my God.
I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know.
I didn't even think of Devers Enjoyer.
I know.
I didn't even think of that.
I know.
Fuck. Has he tweeted? Has he reactivated? He had to have.
No.
No? He's taking a sabbatical? Damn. You know what? Shout out Devers Enjoyer. What's he gonna... I mean, God love him, but the brand's dead. I mean, I guess you could still enjoy Devers in San Francisco, but it's not gonna be the same. Man. Hashtag he is never coming back now. She did come back, though, I will say. To She's credit.
And you know what? I hope we never see her again. I can say that right now.
Jared come back with Devers should shut up and dribble.
Say that
Funny's funny, Jared.
Go to 500 because that's like a monkey paw can curl. But I can say it now because we're a game above. I hope I never see her again.
Yeah. Ever. Period. Full stop.
Yeah. All right, let's get off.
I guess now, full stop. I mean, we could just fall completely below 500 forever and ever after this season. But, yeah, let's wrap this up.
I'm reading McAdams' Devers piece right now. It's nothing we didn't know.
He roasted him?
Tidbits?
No, just kind of like, I guess, when Henry went out to Kansas City, it really didn't, achieve anything. And sounds like basically with the Bregman and the Arenado stuff over the winter, that annoyed Devers. And then
I totally forgot about Arenado.
Yeah. So yeah, it just seemed that Devers was just pissed. So that was all she wrote.
Here's my question. If that is the case, one final thought. If he's pissed and the organization is pissed, what would have been the line of production that Devers would have had to have achieved for them to deal with it? Because, again, we're talking about an OPS plus of about 150. Would it had to have been 175? Would it had to have been Aaron Judge numbers? Would it have had to have been Barry Bonds numbers for them to deal with that? What's the line? Hogdale says Barry Bonds. Great minds think alike, Mr. Hogdale. But where? To quote Tim Robinson, what's next? What's next? Little meatball that makes it look.
That's a great question.
Clean out my ball sack.
Honestly.
To Ted Williams in the chat. Shout out Teddy Ball. Game 99 overall card in the show just dropped, but. What's the line? Because if 150 OPS plus isn't going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Rhetorical question. I'll just say that's a rhetorical question. If that's all we have, though, we can call it a night here.
You know what bums me out, though? Final thought here. It fucking stinks that John Henry was like, I care. Like, I'm going to fly out there. I fucking care.
And Devers straight up was like, no, I'm still not doing it.
Yeah.
No, thanks. No, thanks, guys.
Well, then why the fuck did I go to Kansas City?
That is actually what happened.
Got some good barbecue, that's it?
Of course there's more info, like, the exact conversation we don't have, but, like, How are you not a little upset at Devers for how this has gone down? Like,
if I'm John Henry, then I'm like,
of course I'm telling him to
okay.
fuck off and trade
Yeah,
him. If I have to fly to fucking Missouri, I'm billionaire John Henry, and I gotta go to the fucking flyover state to talk to my $30
I gotta meet with
Josh.
what's that senator's name? Josh Hawley. I gotta meet with Josh Hawley to meet up with him, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I have to go fly to fucking Missouri to talk to my DH just to ask him to go take some fucking grounders at first, and he just hits you with, no.
No.
Our
thanks.
apologies.
I don't really feel like it.
No. Yeah. Right. Our apologies to our Missouri listeners who are very common, decent people. But still, to do that, to add to your carbon footprint for a guy to just be like, no, I'm gonna slug, and then a month later be like, oh, well, you're gonna slug somewhere else.
I guess here's one interesting nugget, I guess, in terms of like the talks with the Giants. Sounds like it started Friday afternoon. McAdams says late Friday afternoon, some 90 minutes before the team was to begin the series against the Yankees, Cora canceled some media obligations because of meetings in his office. It's believed that the notion of dealing Devers to the Giants began there, with talks continuing throughout the weekend and culminating later today. So there you go. Happened quick.
What do you think Devers would have had to do just this weekend for Craig to back out?
Four home run game. Like, I don't know.
Game.
He would have had to walk off on Friday. He would have driven in the winning run today. He would have thrown 6 innings instead of Hunter Dobbins last night. It would have taken that, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck are we going to talk about on Tuesday? That's my question. I will say
tomorrow,
we're only gonna have what we're gonna have the weekend. I guess we'll have the weekend Yankee series to talk about.
I mean, we can talk about the rest of the Yankees. Yeah, I mean, we really didn't talk about the Yankee series.
No, we didn't. We'll have
we'll get one game.
We'll
have one game in Seattle to talk about.
And in all seriousness, we will direct people to. Someone says we'll talk about Iran, Israel. Probably not on that.
Geopolitics.
We will direct all people for Devers Sock to go to this here episode. I don't think I fully wrapped my head around it still, though. We've been talking for about an hour and a half. I don't think I've fully wrapped my head around the fact. Poor Marshall. My little puppy, poor Marshall. We got him a Rafael Devers jersey a couple weeks ago.
He's brokenhearted.
I told him. I said, Marshall, I got some bad news. Told him the news about Devers. What did he do? He licked his balls. That's what he did. Because that's what he always does. Because he's a puppy. That's what puppies do.
Thought he would cry.
Are we out of the
Milwaukee dash? God, did you hear about Rafael Devers? Lee, we have to tweet that from the pod.
Are we under the luxury tax now?
We have to be, right? Have to be.
Let me see. Let me take a look at a good friend.
I don't know. Bregman's contract put them over it by a lot, so I'm not sure.
Jack goes, here comes acceptance. No, not there, Jack. Not there yet. I'm still at bargaining. Maybe not. Maybe I might even still be at denial. My head's not wrapped around it.
On one of the Devers was traded account, Wander Franco commented on it.
That
what?
Him? Hashtag him?
Yeah. He did the.
You should be in
face.
jail. Stop commenting on this. Start commenting on your legal defense, brother. Like you got. Damn. Ugh. Wander has cell reception in jail. That Wander Franco. Not funny what he did, by the way. Not funny. POL disavows from that action. We're not a fan.
POL is brave enough to take a stand against pedophilia.
Correct. Not a fan. Is that all we got?
Yeah, I mean, hey, what a... Yeah. Ooh. Eee!
To quote Don Draper, a lot has happened.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought, Jake, you were going to say it.
No, I'm sorry.
So, would you have something?
What do they have to go on this road trip to be like, all right, like, okay.
6-3.
6-3. Yeah, I agree. I think
6-3.
Would 5-4 make you be like,
That's the sort of gray area. I'd take 5-4. Listen, if you can go 500 or better on a road trip, especially on the West Coast, I think you take that.
It's a long road trip.
5-4, you would leave that 2 games over 500 without your best fucking slugger in the line.
Fitz, you better start believing that Rafael Devers isn't on you.
You're in it, yeah.
Because he's not. You say without your best slugger. Fitz, he's not ours anymore.
Well, yeah, our best slugger is Trevor Story right now, the way he's playing.
Does Raffy homer against us?
100%.
Yeah.
Never been more sure
First
of anything
at bat,
in
first
my
at bat.
life. Lucas Giolito, cookie,
Oh
middle,
my God.
dick high.
Big bender right into the zone.
Fucking cement mixer.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. Oh. Yeah. That happened. Well, that happened.
That happened. Kyle Harrison's right behind me, isn't he?
James Eugene the third is behind me, isn't he?
I wouldn't have done that. Clearly, you've never owned a Rafael Devers. Clearly, you've never had a Kyle Harrison in your organization. So,
Rafael Devers is the best hitter they've had since Barry Bonds. I think we are slightly underrating prime Buster Posey, but I would agree otherwise.
Posey won an MVP.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What are we doing?
Posey had a season as a catcher where he hit 336.
That's fucking crazy.
408 and 549.
I also think we're underrating JT Snow. You know.
Wow.
Marco Scudero too. Easily.
We're
Ryan Terrio.
Ryan the Riot.
Sanchez.
Yeah, a lot of disrespect to Connor Gillespie right now.
Denard Span.
Hunter Pence.
Yeah. Many legends
Hunter
suited
Pence.
up.
Respect Hunter Pence. Please.
Hunter Pence. That was
Tom Smith.
He was
guys,
he was a
on.
bucket.
He's there right now.
Hunter Pence actually was a bucket for a few years.
He was.
He was gas.
So.
Remember when Brandon Belt randomly had an MVP level season? That was weird.
And you were banging on the desk to get him the Red Sox to be the shortstop, Jake. I remember that.
That's Brandon Crawford, you stupid bitch.
Oh, you said Brandon Belt.
He loved Brandon Crawford.
Yeah,
he loved Brandon.
I mixed up my Brandons. Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon Crawford,
Beg pardon.
Putting up 6 WAR, 5.5 WAR. That was a good ball player.
Speaking of Brandon Belt, his OPS plus in 2023 was 135, and then he didn't sign with anybody the next year.
Yeah, I think
whatever happened there. 103 games, a 135 OPS plus. You tell me he couldn't get a major league deal the next year?
Dude, how pissed does ESPN have to be that Ohtani's coming back to pitch tomorrow?
Love
and not
that.
tonight on
Suck
Sunday Night
'em.
Baseball. That's fine, ESPN. They're done anyway.
Yeah, Carl Ravik punching in air right now.
Ravitch,
same thing.
Good-
Whatever.
good
He's not covering baseball next year. Whatever.
Fellas, I'm still in on this team. I hate to say it. I do.
That surprises me that you're still so far in, because I feel like, not for nothing, Jake, you are more of the
Fitz, he
optimist
led off
of
the
trio.
show telling you he was cool with the trade.
I suppose, yeah, which I thought was crazy, but
God damn it!
Huh?
The
the avenue to
summer to be
October
over.
is still there. It just got way more narrow. That's all. It got way more narrow.
what my thoughts presuppose is, what if it didn't?
Oh, okay, I listen. I love the Royal Tenenbaums. It's a great movie, but
What's the Drewski move? It's like,
CT, we did it.
yeah, walk with me.
Oh,
Never wrong.
just
Just
early.
early.
Well, guys, he's certainly not
Devers
hitting
could
my
retire and
45
be like,
games
well, he's not going to
per
put any home runs this year. Never wrong, just early. Like
Did
it
you
could
hear
just
me?
be that.
What if Devers
What-
starts to decline next year?
What if a bomb? What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head, Jake?
Guys,
What'd
I
you
don't
say?
think he's. I don't think he's going to reach my 45 games at third total.
Yeah, no, Liam? You don't think? I feel like I've lived 50 lifetimes since you said that, Liam.
So much has happened.
Jake, you and I were right about that. I will say.
Yes.
High
I
five
was.
through the.
I mean, I was
monitor for
Devers.
that.
I bought in. I was like, yo, Bregman's going to play plenty of second. Devers
If
gonna
only
play
we
third.
knew.
I was
If
tricked.
only
Fell
we
for
knew
it.
how wrong we were back in the like if
So
only we knew how
naive.
naive we were. Like, yeah, I think he'll grab a couple games here and there. No, actually, he's in San Francisco.
Nothing.
Thanks. Yeah. No.
He
No,
actually won't be back at Fenway Park until 2020.
Actually, now he's gay. He's gay in San Francisco. Thanks.
Well, it's June, so happy Pride. God bless.
Sorry.
Coughing up a lung over there, Jake.
Yeah.
Christ.
Is that all we got?
Yeah. I
That's
gotta
all-
go
I mean,
snuggle. I gotta go
what-
snuggle
what-
with my puppy.
What else can he say?
He lived
God
an
bless.
amazing life. He did.
Whether you're
Agree
agreed
or
or not.
I will say, shout out to
Whether
Red
you agree or
Sox.
not.
Shout out to Red Sox and shout out, I guess, just teams for when like franchise guys leave the Red Sox, they do end up on the West Coast, which is helpful for my mental space.
Yeah, I don't have to watch him.
Yeah, don't have to play them really. Don't have to watch them.
It's not like they lead their team to a Stanley Cup championship or anything like that after, beating them in the playoffs 2 years prior to that. But, Jake might kill me right now based off that.
No, it was right to do. It was right to trade him.
I'm just saying. So,
I'm just saying.
in any event, Rafael Devers, we hardly knew ye. San Francisco Giant. We're not San
Crazy
Francisco
to
Giants
say.
fans.
It really is crazy to.
Like,
just
what
hear
the-
Again,
it out loud.
I haven't fully
Like,
come to
he's
terms
gone.
with it.
He's dead.
He's gone.
He's dead to me.
Song of the week, she's gone by Hall and Oates,
gone.
but it's he's gone. Yeah.
What is Cora saying? His first Cora didn't like Devers either. That's what I need people to accept. And I'll leave you with that final thought. I'll leave you with that thought. Cora and Breslow both. I'll tell you what. If they were on Pod on Lansdowne, their don't fuck with would be Rafael Devers.
But they're not, So that's gonna do
One
it for
day.
this emergency edition of Pod on Lansdowne. We appreciate you guys for
One day we'll get Craig
joining
on here
us
to talk
We
about
laughed,
it.
in
we
the,
laughed, we cried.
we
learned
laughed
a
until we
valuable lesson.
cried. Yeah, we did everything. We'll be back Tuesday night recording here on YouTube, youtube.com/@podonlansdowne to discuss the rest of the week that was in Red Sox baseball. Maybe some final thoughts on the Devers situation towards the end, maybe in the third segment, but we don't have to prolong it that much because we just did a fucking hour and a half on it on a Sunday night. It's 11:15. I got to edit this episode and go to bed. But in any event, we appreciate you joining us one way or the other. So for Jake, for Liam, I'm Fitz, you're you. We will talk to you in a couple of days. Until then, go Sox. God fucking damn it. Rafael Devers is gone. And obey your mother.
Obey your mother.
Obey your mother.